we have no foundation towards a strong healthcare system, we're in a lot of trouble unless things change right now.
You know, people say there's not enough nurses, there's just not enough doctors, and that may be the case, but these two can be sorted with contingency planning about recruitment. And whose overall responsibility is this? Is it the health authority? Is it the doctors? Is it the ministry? Is it the federal government? Nobody seems to actually fully articulate it.
"16 years of doing outreach work is so rewarding because you get to see people in their own community. When you see them in the emerge, it's just another emerge patient. You aren't able to contextualize, what things that they've had to put up with, what resources they have. An issue that was arising out of the Rivers Inlet community of Wikenuk, which we visited for so many years. There was an unpaid helicopter bill, and that was news to me. There really was an accountability piece around brokenness due to lack of accountability across the organizations and the net impact on providers and patients.
I got a call from Vancouver Coastal. They want to help us. Island Health is saying, no, not our problem, not our problem, not our problem. And Vancouver Coastal said, it's okay, we'll help you. Just tell us what kinds of things you're looking for. So I think we talk and create this is our wish list. What can you do for us?
Okay, so they're going to keep paying for it.
So no, they've settled all the bills now, so we're at ground zero.
What else is going on in this story? And it's not just simply a staffing resource issue. It's not just so much a post-pandemic issue. There's a number of pieces that are not gluing together.
That's part of the root cause of why we're in a crunch. Current state is emergency services not predictable, closures left, right, and center. People say, but that's happening everywhere in the province. Yes, but this one is actually preventable. Some communities are better resourced to deal with this than other communities. Rural communities are not all the same.
I can count the number of days I've had free. And before that, it wasn't busy. We'd have a lot of weekends. We had more physicians as well. I wasn't working every alternate weekend. Some days I do like 19, 20 days in a row because the 2 weekends are together. Those are hard. I need to stop doing that stuff. And I'm happy to hold it on until the reinforcements arrive. But again, it's like, okay, let's see where you're at in 2 years. If in 2 years you decided to make this your community, this your home, man, come on in.
Please leave your message after the tone. After leaving a message, you can hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, it's Dr. Amagam Santula. Hope you guys are doing well. I think we had a phone visit for today. If you still need to get a hold of us, you know how. Take care. See you later.
No one event that you can think of or anything like that?
No, the only thing is that I did shatter my ankle while I was in the military.
Same side?
Different side.
Okay.
Okay, this is what
I just want to get rid of the nausea, please.
Okay. Have you taken anything over the counter or otherwise?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we can give you a shot today.
Okay.
You want to try that or no?
Yes, something just to stop the nausea.
Okay, here's the thing.
What do you got?
Where are you going to give it?
In the shoulder, in the deltoid joint.
So this will make you drowsy as well. So
Oh, will it?
yes.
Oh, that's good. I'm not driving.
Excellent.
It's still falling.
That's right. I have a chauffeur.
Yes.
So there's the acromion, a couple fingers down. So right here.
Yeah.
So I'll send it in for you. All the very best to you on your new adventures.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And if I don't see you before I go, God bless you, and we're very lucky to have you in our world up here on the North Island. So
Oh, thank you.
don't let anyone tell you different, okay?
Thanks for still. I'm what they would call a fourth generation South African. Are you more black? Are you more Indian? And after a while, it was largely referred to as colored. My father was a farmer, so I'm really just a farmer's son who managed to get out of being on the farm. In fact, my dad was quite disappointed. He says, well, who's going to work on the farm when I decided to go to school? Did my training in South Africa, very fortunate to be able to do that in the sense that of the volume and the acuity in being able to fix things and heal things. So I arrived to Canada as part of a recruitment system as an international medical grad. And I landed in Port McNeill and people said, oh, you're going to Port McNeill? My goodness, where is that? You know, there's an airport, but it's 40 minutes away. And I think we're getting high-speed internet because it was still dial-up at the time. And I said, sorry, how many people? They said 3,000. I said, wow, that's so much bigger than the 400 town that I come from. What blew me away the most was how well everybody embraced the fact that I was a foreign person. I think a lot of South Africans, especially people of sort of mixed backgrounds and those kind of things, will always struggle about identity. You know, people often ask you, when are you going home? This is home. I arrived and it occurred to me that there was a high turnover of physicians coming and going. But who's looking after the overall picture? Nobody. And it occurred to me that there was an issue with the way the medical system was running. So I thought, how do we shift it from like one person owning the clinic to why don't we have like decision making in terms of a group so people can have a piece of ownership, have a piece of decision making, so they invested, they have skin in the game. That changed things and allowed for that success over a 4-5 period time. In fact, we had no wait times. People would be seen that day or at the very latest the next day. That's when I became the medical director. We're just a local place. We're a local North Island place. We have to sell it. We have to report to somebody within a health authority. We were attending a few meetings. They got fairly heated, and it was around me trying to advocate for people in North Island. I was frustrated that like we were nobody. Nobody would hear us as a North Island people. So that idea of creating an equitable, sustainable plan for the region never went anywhere. When you poke at people who are in positions of power, it doesn't land very well generally. And I struggle with that. I don't know. I've tried to make a fuss about this, but the powers that be don't seem to listen. I'd confided in different people about some of the toxicity that was happening. There was a particular incident that happened. I overheard a conversation. The South African guy, and he was talking to another South African guy, and I was outside the door. I hadn't meant to be there that day. They were saying things like, he likes being in power because I'm a person of color, shouldn't be in power. Talking about me being vocal, they were talking about me not knowing my place because I should know my place. And for me, that took me back to when I was 10 years old, man. Dare some farmer's son, especially not a brown fella, to tell us what to do. Who does he think he is? The situation that happened, it took me back to a place where that was very hurtful for me. In South Africa, you learn English, Afrikaans, and a Black African language. So when I was 10 years old, I spoke Zulu, I spoke English, and my Afrikaans wasn't really good. We were walking and playing on the beach, and I was with my father, and he was with his friend. And so I decided to go to the beach and say, there's a toilet, there's a washroom. So I go and the washroom sign said Net Blancus. Net Blancus means whites only. And I didn't know that because I was 10, and even though I didn't know my Afrikaans really well, because I was fighting to learn this language that got forced on us. There were two Dutch Afrikaans policemen who grabbed me from the back and dragged me out while I was peeing, and dragged me over to the grass on just outside the toilet washroom, and started kicking me on the ground. And so it was really embarrassing. Firstly, because I thought the pain, I didn't feel the pain really in the beginning. I was just feeling like, oh, people are like watching me, my stuff's out and I'm peeing, and the embarrassment of that. I was trying to make sense of the situation, and then I started feeling the hurt, the pain, because my body started to hurt, but the worst thing is I was watching my father. Two other guys held him up. There were two other white Afrikaans policemen who were holding him up against the wall, and he was looking at me helplessly. That I was on the floor and he couldn't help me. And my father was a big man. He was strong. Yeah. I couldn't understand why. Well, I did understand, but I was looking at it more. They were hurting him too. And anyway, I had broken 3 ribs that day, and stayed in hospital for a while, and yeah. You learn, even at a young age, that you're different, that you're made to feel inferior. There was this apartheid era in South Africa, and this was a consequence of this apartheid era. There were other incidents where, friends of mine were burnt alive when I was a child, in front of me, in similar circumstances, because they decided to speak out. They decided to speak out against authority. They decided to speak out what they felt was wrong, and necklacing and in front of me. You don't forget the smell of burning flesh. You don't forget the smell of your friends burning. You don't. And it comes back to Port McNeill, and you think, that to me was the injustice. That to me was, I couldn't be part of that situation. Resigned from the health authority because the health authority would not understand this, because the people who I reported to were also people of privilege, were people of class. They wouldn't understand what I'm trying to tell them. Getting some Reno stuff done. I am just a doctor. I love being a doctor. This is an effortless type work for me. I love the work that I do. I've always worked long hours. I've always worked long days. I was getting a bit stressed in my role, so I was developing some chest pain. I was having some issues myself. Doctors and nurses are terrible patients. So I thought, okay, so I'll go see somebody, and my angiogram was fine. I was like, whew, thank goodness, my heart's going to be good for a while. Within the 24-hour period, my arm started swelling. My arm started swelling even more, and these fingers were starting to go dark, and I couldn't actually make them straight. And went and suddenly emerged there, and yeah, sure enough, they said there was this compartment syndrome there, and they opened this thing up, and they left it open for the next week, and I was in hospital. But that episode made me think, hey, what the hell, man? You're almost 50. I wasn't even 50 then. This is silly, Brian. You love to do this thing, but this thing is literally killing you. You could have lost your arm. So I announced my retirement, and good. You send out some messaging. They actually gave me direction to say, you send out the messaging to say it was because of your health, and not because we were very happy that you're now actually stepping down. And so I sent it out. The South African thing was biting at me. I wasn't sleeping very well. This was 4 generations of my people were fighting this exact same thing. And then so, Brian, your arm is fine. Your heart is fine. You're not like some old infirm guy. You have a voice, you have your health. Sorry, why are you stepping down again, Priyan? Island Health had already gleefully gone on with their, we can't let you stay in the clinic beyond this time. You need to just download all your patients to all the new doctors we hope to recruit, and we've got this new system, but we don't want you in it, and so goodbye, get done. They'd already gone on, they've embarked on this thing. So when you live in a small town, and when you're part of a tribe, and when you're part of a community, people would stop me all over the place. What happened? We heard you were really unwell. I'm like, yeah, I was unwell, but I couldn't tell them that, the powers that be are actually screwing me again because I'm a black man. I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that there's inequity and I'm trying to fight for you. I'm trying to fight for you as our tribe, as our people. But it wasn't that at all. It was really this collusion, this thing that they put together because they see me as a troublemaker. They see me as heat and they don't want the heat. My way of saying that would be, I would stay. I will stay and do this as long as I can do it. I will stay and do this as long as you want me to do it, because I still enjoy what I do. On Christmas Day, the senior executive informs me like, yeah, we really don't like you, because there were plans even up to that time to say, we're going to incorporate you as part of the new clinic. Anyway, long and the short of it is that they said, oh, we decided, but you're welcome to go open a new clinic if you want to. This is after I had cancelled all my TELUS types, so no phone number for the clinic. They've got a new phone number. And then suddenly I was left with, I got no clinic. I got no facility to have a clinic. I'm part of a tribe. I live in Port McNeill. I reached out to local people. I reached out to staff. I reached out to other people where I knew I could get equipment. By the 4th of January, we had the makings of a clinic. We have a sign on the outside and people are coming, and the days are not quiet. I still work long days. I still see a lot of people, and it still feels somewhat effortless to do that because it's not work. Of the 3,000 people that I have in my panel, I can almost assure you that I know them all. And that kind of relationship you cannot get without history. I feel part of this region and this community, and I will not desert them. I will not abandon them for the sake of other people who don't seem to understand what that means.
Medicine is about relationship. Medicine is about people. And I hope people take away that they have a right to actually say most of the things that are in place are paid by their tax dollars.
I do it because I'm part of the tribe. I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of being able to do it. I'm proud of, in a sense, escaping hardship and adversity and creating a different platform for my family.
My grandfather was a builder. My father was a farmer. In everything that I do, whether that's in my personal life or whether that's in my professional life, I still want to build and grow things.